Hi everybody, it's Miss Johnson. I'm going to be trying to kind of navigate how you should be trying to complete this 5-5 um, training presentation. So when you go into lessons, and I know it's already been due, but some people didn't submit it. It's not the right assignment. Um, Go into lessons and you can read my instructions here on how to do this assignment. You could also look in the book, but when you look at my instructions here, you'll see that I want you to create the new presentation using this data file, training seminar presentation. So you might say, oh, where can I find that data file? So I want you to go to lessons, go to data files, and then go down to project 5. Since it's 5-5, you'll see everything you need in project 5. So it's a zip file. When it's opened, you'll see that these are the files that are in that project. You won't be using all of these, but I've asked that you use this training seminar presentation. When you open it, it's going to look like this. So a lot of it's already prepared for you, all right? And you're going to be doing the assignment instructions that are either in the book or in my what I've written out for you in lessons. What I want to show you now is a finished product, and I want to point out for you the things I'm looking for, because what I got from several students were a PowerPoint with no animations, and that's sort of the whole point of the assignment, is that you would do the animations. Let me go into my files, and in just a moment I'll show you what the finished product looks like. All except for the challenge, which you need to add that yourself. But give me just a second while I open it. So this is more or less what your finished product is going to look like. When I put it on display, you're going to be able to see the animations. The screen's going to go dark and it's not going to look. I have two screens that I'm looking at, so when you use two screens, there's a little bit of a different display, but you'll still be able to see what's happening on the slides. So you'll notice right away that this top bar spins. I'm going to click and you'll see that the second bar will spin as well. These are animations that you need to apply. This is a next slide preview. You're going to notice down here on the left corner of this next slide that there's a triangle. When I click this next slide, you'll see that triangle travels from left to right. That's another animation that you need to add to your presentation. So you'll see that this moves from left to right on each slide. On this slide, you're going to be adding a picture. I've chosen this one. You don't have to add the same one that I did, but it needs to be related. This is a presentation about athlete's foot, so we're going to keep our genre the same. So we're still using athlete's foot pictures. And notice that we continue to have this animation throughout the presentation. When we get to the end of the presentation, which is slide 9, you're going to substitute, because you're going to be doing the challenge, you're going to substitute these 3 bullets for internet articles. So, or at least this second bullet you're going to substitute for internet articles. And then that'll be the end of your slide. So please know that what you're sending to me is a PowerPoint presentation with animation. All right, if any of this is confusing or you don't know how to do it or something won't work for you, please give me an email message or a call and let me know so I can assist you. The test you're going to be taking on Sunday is based on partially this presentation, which is a PowerPoint, and then also the brochure. I would like to also show you what the brochure, the final product of the brochure should look like. For some of you, it's not going to be a problem. You already have done it very well. I'd like to point out for a few of you that if you haven't done it yet, I hope mine will open for you. Okay. So this is what the final product should look like. Let's move all the way to the right, and you'll notice that this is the title. It's Lucinda Sands. Up here is the font, and it's 24. You've got an appropriate picture and then also the logo. If you move to the left, you'll see that this is where the stamp for this is going to be a trifold brochure. This is where the stamp would go. Over here, you'll see that you've got Lucinda Sands 12. Now you could do 12, 14 is fine. I'm looking at the formatting of these bullets. Notice that they are not wrapping underneath the round bullet, so let's make sure that doesn't happen. They should fit. All 4 bullets should be spaced evenly. You shouldn't have a lot of white or green space where this is concerned. Should be pretty even spacing. Let's move to the inside of the brochure. Here's where we need to start getting a little more careful with the consistency. Notice that this, they're all caps. So make sure that you are using all caps. Make sure that your fonts are the same. So this is Lucinda 18, this is Lucinda 18, this is Lucinda 18. Let's make sure that's very consistent. As we go over and we're looking here, I'm noticing that there's a little bit uneven here. So I'm going to take, if I'm doing a file print and I'm looking at page 2, I'm going to go down here and look at page 2. Notice what I'm looking at. I'm looking for an evenness of white space. So I'm looking about the same amount of white space on the left and right side of the column. And that can be adjusted based on pulling on the text box that surrounds this. I'm also looking to see that there's no abundance of white space underneath the columns or on top. So this looks like a pretty even amount of white space across the top. For those of you that can't figure out how to do those stars, I don't care if you use stars or what you use, so long as it's something that basically borders this quote. Okay. Also looking for your fonts to be consistent. If you're going to use Lucinda Sands, that's fine. If you're going to use something else, that's fine too, but make sure that you're using consistent font throughout your page. These bullets over here to the left and in the middle, note that they are numbered. So don't, some of you are putting a bullet and a number. So you can't go in and say, have a bullet as replacing the number, and you can't have one and then a bullet and then the statement. Just the number's fine. Number, period, is fine. Make sure that whatever format your bullets are here, notice that these bullets all have, most of them have a wrapping line because it's too long to stay on one line. Notice that when it wraps, it's wrapping underneath this number. If you're going to do it that way, and I don't care if you do or you don't, you could decide to line them up so that the W in water lines up with the C in can. No problem. Do it consistently for all the bullets. And then make sure that you're doing it the same way over here for these bullets. All right. Notice over here that there's one space. See that space right there? I've got my codes on so you can see that that's a space bar right there. If I turn my codes off, that one little space goes away. I'm going to turn it back on. The only way you can tell that you have things lined up appropriately is to turn your codes on. Notice that that one space is before each one of these bullets. So it would not be appropriate to have no spaces here, but a space here, a space here, and a space here. So again, consistency is key. And notice that the multi-lines all wrap underneath the numbers, just like this does. So if yours are not wrapping, they need to. If these are not wrapping, these shouldn't wrap either, vice versa. Consistency. I don't care if they do or they don't. I just care that it's the same. Okay, that is pretty much the skinny on those two assignments. Your test on Sunday is going to be based on these two assignments. So please make sure that if you didn't get it right the first time, based on this video that you've watched, that you go back in, make some adjustments, resubmit your assignments so that you'll be fully prepared on Sunday for the test that you're going to have. All right, hope you have a great evening. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.